Hi, everybody. Christy, Susan, Jean, Wendy, Connie. Hi, Susan. How are you? Good, good, good. You're looking great.
There. I think we're all set.
There you go. There you go. How's everybody doing today? Wednesday, hump day. Oh,
About my instructions.
excellent, excellent. Have you started knitting yet? How many have started knitting?
I started my gauge circular
Yeah,
so I could
excellent.
really get a good feel.
I cast it,
Yeah,
but I didn't know
I'm
where to
sorry.
go after with the pearl and behind, so I'm waiting.
Okay.
But
Did you
it's ready.
see the Q? Excellent, excellent. Did you see the QR code that I sent out in the email yesterday?
I must have missed that.
Yeah, that's okay. I can give it to you here as well. Um, it was just the instructions on how to do that second row, and it was done by the designer, and it's a little video tutorial, so that'll help you if you're having problems with that. I didn't see that little tutorial before I started doing it, and I actually think I didn't do it quite right, but it's worked fine. So where's everybody from?
I'm from Texas, down by Houston.
Texas? Oh, nice. Are you pretty hot these days?
Very hot. Thank you.
I'm
Hanging
from
in though.
Florida.
And you're from Florida.
Yep,
Excellent. Excellent. And you just went through a bunch of storms, right?
we did. I'm in North Florida. We got a lot of rain, not that much wind, so it was actually very good.
Uh-huh. Yeah. The rain. Okay. That's great. And Connie, I think here, let's see, I just asked you to unmute. And Cheryl, unfortunately, I can't hear you, Connie. I think you're still muted. And Cheryl's
Okay, can
coming
you hear
on.
now?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, good.
absolutely.
Okay, I'm from Tennessee.
Oh, wonderful. I have friends in Tennessee. That's great.
Great.
Oh, nice hot summer everywhere. I think this is the time of year that we're all kind of cooking a little bit. Yeah. Susan and I live in the same town. Although you live further inland, so you're probably a few degrees hotter than I am here.
It's just a little bit. Right now, the fog is coming in and going out and coming back in. It can't decide, but it's
Yeah.
pretty nice here, right in Midtown Ventura, California.
Yeah. It's perfect. It's perfect. Susan Susan does some sample knitting for me, and she's doing some uh, pattern designing for us, and so we're really excited to see um, what she comes up with.
Me
She's
too.
Yeah, she's very talented, very, very talented and wonderful. In fact, she has created a sock pattern and some variations on a sock pattern, which we can maybe get her to come in and do a knit along for us and teach us how to do socks. I'm gonna put her on the spot and ask her in front of everybody so she can't say no.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
you know me. If it's involved socks and beautiful yarn, I will do it. I do love to knit socks. I wear them every day. It doesn't matter what time of year I wear my knitted socks. I just love them and they're comfortable. And I think people don't realize that wool isn't hot. It's just insulating. I think it's a
Right.
great thing to put on our feet.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't smell. It doesn't, it keeps the odor down and everything. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I see Wendy is here. I remember Wendy from other knit-alongs and from Facebook. How are you, Wendy? Oh, she's on mute. Okay, well, let's dive in a little bit. I may not, well, anyway, I'm not going to go sideways into another topic right now, but where is everybody? Can you show me where you are in your process? There, cast on, ready for the second row. Gauging, or is that, are you gauging? Yeah, gauging and
Yep.
perfect. Great, great, great. Okay, so I always try to keep just a little bit ahead of you guys, which keeps me busy, but I have just loved this design. I'm having so much fun with it. The beginning of it was a little tricky. I'm the first one to admit it was a little tricky. I had to go down to a size 16 circular to be able to get it in because I did not cast on loosely enough. The next time I would do it, I would cast on super, super loose, like as loose as you can to give yourself a little bit of room. And then that second round fills in all the gaps or whatever that you would do by casting on loosely, because the first round in effect just doubles your stitches. So whatever stitches you cast on, let's see, if you cast on for the smallest 60, then you will end up on, after you do the second row, you'll end up with 120 stitches. So I cast on far too tightly, but I kind of like, I mean, either way, whether I cast it on right or not, I kind of like this funny little, I don't know, can we see this funny little kind of crooked almost, because by the time it's all stretched out, it's a nice, not quite a boat neck, but it's going to be a nice neckline. Somebody did ask me about making it, since because they lived in a cold climate, and making it a little bit, the neckline a little bit smaller. And if you want to do that, if you're, a knitter that's, kind of knows their way around, then what I would just do is cast on less stitches, do the math from the size that you want to knit. I would cast on less stitches and do one more round of this pattern before then I got down to do, I would just have this pattern area here just a little lighter. That's just if you want to make it smaller. But I'm down to the place where you start the short rows, and they're super simple. They're not even wrap and turn, and they're not, they don't say anything about making them German short rows. So I unfortunately, I was hoping that was able to get them to that point to be able to show you guys what it looked like, because I'd really never done short rows like this without, doing anything fancy. But I wasn't able to get to that point. So that's where we're at. So we can open it up for some questions and have some knitting together. Who wants to be first?
Okay, so where do I go to get started? I just need to know if I should add an extra stitch and then, lock it that way on the cast on in the round, or do I just need to go ahead and just knit the first stitch? That's where I got confused, and then do the purl. I don't know what to do right here, so I can move forward.
Yeah, okay. I always knit an extra stitch and pull that stitch over so that, the round is joined nice and tightly. That's just how I always do it. So I would say that, that's outside of the pattern. The next row, you don't knit one first, you purl one right away. You insert the right needle from back to front under the next strand before the next stitch to be worked. So because I'm not at that point, let me see. Let me give you, it's hard to find a link to this. The link that she even posted doesn't work. So if everybody's on Instagram, go to I put the QR code in the email that I sent yesterday, so you can just use that QR code on your camera. That's the easiest way. Or you can go to this. Go to this account in Instagram, Ellie's, ELLYS Knitting Days. Can everybody see that? Go to that account in Instagram and just search down a little bit until you see this video. I'm going to try and play it for you here. Sometimes I have a little trouble with the sound. I think I need to take my ear pods out, get the sound. So can everybody see this, my cursor right here and the Ellie's Knitting Days?
Yes.
Okay, turn up the sound and I'll go ahead and play it for you. Oh, I guess she doesn't say anything, so. Purl the first stitch. So under the whole thing, cast on.
But that looks like from front to back to me, not back to front, but front to back, or am I don't know.
I can't, unfortunately, I can't back it up, but I'll start it again and play it. She started, yeah, she pulled the yarn from back to front, but she put her needle underneath the front to grab the yarn to pull it back to front.
Yeah.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll play it again. So you put in front and you pull the yarn from back to front.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put the yarn back in front to purl and pull it off your needle. Okay, here it is one more time. And you know what? She didn't even join. So ignore what I said about the joining. Purl the first stitch. That's the joining. Insert the needle under the strands from front to back. Grab your yarn, pull it up back to front. Pull up a loop. Move the yarn to the front and purl the next stitch. And that's it. Okay, everybody got that? Yes, getting new stitches. Love, love, love.
That was incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I did my gauge swatch, I just cast on a bunch and worked in the round to get my stockinette gauge swatch. And then I thought, oh, I'll try this thing where it grows. But it wasn't the first round. So I was kind of faking how to get that in there. And I was struggling with, does a yarn go in front or in back in your hand? So now I see, I go, it's in back, and I go under. That makes a huge difference.
So the yarn is going from back to front, but your needle is going from front to back. And so
Got it.
when it says insert right, oh, see, you know, and the pattern says from back to front. So
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
yeah.
But then your yarn would be in front and you would, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't do it yet. I saw the video this morning, so.
Yeah, that's why, you know, I had actually scheduled all the emails and everything before I found this. I can't remember how I found it. And when I found it, I immediately put them into the emails. So those who signed up first might not have received this as early. Anyway, just wanted to clear all that up. It makes it really easy. I didn't do it that way, and I think what happens is my let's see, maybe I'll switch my camera so we can.
Well, can you show us on some practice yarn what you did or what you would or what they're asking there? Because I guess that's where I'm confused on how you're gonna get the 2 stitches to increase it double.
It's like a yarn over. You're just getting a yarn over from the back of your work. So you stab your needle in the back, get a yarn over and bring it to the front. And then you
yeah,
have
but
to
you're going under, the difference is you're going underneath your entire cast on.
yeah.
And that's
So it's like
that's the trick.
it's like a
I don't know
yarn
if,
under over.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know if I can cast on a bit quickly enough to, I had a pair of extra needles. Obviously this isn't the right size.
That's okay. If you move your camera down just a little because your hands.
Yeah, just a minute. I'm not quite ready. As soon as I'm ready, I'll fix the camera. I'm trying to see with this, I'm gonna have to cast on a lot. So maybe we can chat about something else while we while I cast on some more.
Yeah.
Let me
What
grab
color?
a,
What color did everybody choose?
oh, that's a good question.
I'm curious.
Okay. I don't know what everybody did, but I did this beautiful blue and it has linen and silk and cotton in it because I live in Texas.
Aha.
Oh,
Hi.
wonderful. Yeah.
I did the gray that the original sweater was done in.
Oh, gorgeous.
It is a very pretty gray.
Yeah, that is a
I
pretty
think it's
gray.
called Moonscape.
I ended up picking oh,
Ooh,
it's funny. I'm holding it in my hand. It looks like a dark cherry, but in the computer it looks like almost orange. But it's really
yeah.
it's Malabrigo and it's kind of a deep, not a Christmas red, but kind of a deep dark cherry. But I'm hoping it's going to work. It's not DK weight. So I did my gauge and I'm modifying the pattern for worsted weight. So
So you're not increasing your needle size or anything like that.
no, I got pretty close to gauge with a size 6 and I liked how the texture was. So
Well, then
I
you shouldn't have to modify the pattern too much, right?
right, I got pretty close to gauge with a stitch I liked. And so I'm making one size smaller than I would make if I were perfectly on gauge. So it's a bit of an experiment.
I think that's a great way of doing it. I think that's a really nice way.
We'll see.
And that's a really good example for those of us who aren't experienced. If you're not as experienced with making sweaters fit, you know, that would be a really nice knit along to hold, is talking about how to make sweaters fit and how you can use the same pattern, a different yarn, and just kind of play with it a little bit until you finally, you know, get the right size.
That would be good. It's a lot nicer to have a little help than to just do trial and error until you want to burn the house down or something. Not that I've ever wanted to do that, but there have been times I thought, why am I working so hard at this? It's because I wanted to use this yarn instead of following the pattern.
And even if you use the yarn that the pattern calls for, a lot of times your knitting is a slightly different, and I don't know, you can even get gauge, and then when you get off knitting, your gauge goes off a little bit, and you know, it's a real, I think it stops people from knitting sweaters because the actual knitting of most sweaters really isn't very difficult. It's just it's just the making them fit, and I think it intimidates people.
I agree.
So welcome some more knitters here, Nancy and Audine. Audine, welcome to our knit along. We already showed, you can unmute yourself if you have a question or something. We already showed the tutorial on how to knit the second row or first row, I guess it's called the first row, right after the cast on. And you can go to, on Instagram, you can see in the chat how you can go to Ellie's Knitting Days on your Instagram, or you can use the QR code that I put in the emails that I've been sending out. I put them in a little bit belated, but because I didn't see this until belated, and in fact knitted mine technically incorrectly, but I'm just fine with that. It looks fine. It might not have as nice a little edge, and I can show you with the camera in a minute. What I'm doing right now, to those of you who joined a little later, is there were still some questions on how to do this, and somebody wanted just a live tutorial, and so I'm just casting on so that I can get enough stitches to kind of show how that worked.
I'm using a longer cable because that's what I have. So I'm trying to do magic loop on this, and it's a little bit funky at the joins. So I'm hoping that at the end of the project, I can weave in and then end to kind of create a better join there, because I've got loops sticking out everywhere.
Yeah, that sometimes can be a problem with magic loop. I love magic loop, but you know, it's possible too that you might be able to just block it out. What do you think?
We'll see. Someone told me once, if you can't see it from a galloping horse, it's probably okay. So we'll see if I'm happy with the edge.
Oh, you knit beautifully, so I'm not afraid. It's gonna look great.
Sometimes what I do though, and I might do this on this one, if it doesn't look right from the beginning, I'll get another set of needles and another ball of yarn and start new on that one and decide which one I want to finish. I've done that with edges because I dislike ripping it out and trying again, ripping it out, trying it again, and wearing out the yarn and feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. I will rip out until I have it right, but I don't want to wreck my yarn or go back unnecessarily.
Right.
But the join is the center back, is that correct? Where you joined, is that going to end up as the center back?
Oh, good question.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. So then you won't even see it. It'll be back.
Get some hair down
Somebody
there.
else will see it.
It'll be in the back.
My mom always used to say a variation on what you just said, Susan, and that was, it won't be seen on a galloping goose.
I've never seen a galloping goose. Maybe that would distract me from any mistakes in my knitting. That's funny.
Well, we've had chats before on this, on these knit-alongs about how, you know, everybody's different. My approach to knitting is a little bit more loosey-goosey, not to use the goose. I'm a little bit, it's not that I don't want things done correctly. I do, and I want them to be neatly, and I want to be proud of them. But I will find different ways to do it, and I won't get too upset. Like, for instance, I did the neckline not right, and I'll show it to you as soon as I get this done. I didn't do it according to the directions. I went into, you know, the bar like I was doing a increase. I didn't realize, for some reason it wasn't clear to me to go under the entire cast on. And so my cast on won't, I think it'll make a nice strong cast on the way that she's doing it, and the way that, obviously she's the designer, so she's the one who should know. And so, but I'm not upset about that. And some people would be, some people would have ripped it all out. And there's no right way. I'm always here to say, do it whatever way makes you happiest. Okay, I think I have enough yarn here. And I can switch. Okay, let me switch the camera. Okay. So see, this is mine, and you can see that you can see the original cast on that I did. The way she's doing it, I believe that it will be more like a rope. I mean, that's how I envision it. I haven't done it the way that she said it yet because I didn't rip it out. But mine just looks like a regular cast on because I went in between, and I ended up with, maybe hers wouldn't have those little almost picot holes at the top. I'm sure her way is prettier, you know, um, but I'm just fine with this. And oh, the stitch is so much fun, and you can just get into it, and you don't have to fuss about remembering it. And yeah, I'm just loving it. And knitting with this Skyfall or Skyland, I'm sorry, knitting with Skyland is just heavenly, just lovely, lovely. Okay, so you purl the first stitch, and then you put the needle down in front, grab the yarn, put your yarn in front, and do another purl.
How did you get your yarn to the front?
I just put it there. So one more time, underneath,
Okay.
grab the yarn. So there I am with just this loose loop. And then put the yarn in front, just move it from the back to the front. And purl the next stitch. Right needle, grab loop, put your yarn in the front, just like you would do if you were ribbing and you were knitting and purling. And purl it. So now my yarn is in back. I grab a loop. I put my yarn in front. And I purl. Now, obviously I'm knitting continental, so it'll look a little different if you're throwing. Grab a loop. Yarn in front. Purl. And off the needle. And see what a nice little kind of almost ropey. Here, let's see if I can. They sent me, Blue Sky Fibers is so sweet. They sent me yarn to make this sample, and they just did it randomly. I couldn't choose a color, and they sent me really dark, and I thought, oh shoot, it makes it really hard to see. But you can see the kind of little ropey edge that it made, as opposed to leaving this cast on edge here at the top. Does that make sense?
Yeah, mine is starting. I'm just at that stage now, and it makes almost like a picot edge.
Yeah, I
top.
think. Yeah, I don't know what it'll look like when we knit it, when it's knitted across.
But the very first one is just a purl all by itself.
Exactly. You don't have to join. like I had said early on in the knit along, so if you're listening to the knit along afterwards, disregard what I said in the beginning. I was just speaking in general. When you join a round after you cast on and you joined a knit in the round, I always cast on an extra stitch and then loop it over, like you were saying, Christy.
Right.
However, with this, all you do is cast on and then you do a purl to join. Just do a purl stitch to join, and then it looks a little loosey goosey here, but it'll be fine as soon as you get the next row.
But that
The next-
Ella or Ellie's knitting day, that tutorial is exactly what we're to do going forward to make the 2 stitches.
Yes, and it's exactly what I've just been doing here. Yes, the Ellie's Knitting Days tutorial on Instagram is exactly what I've been doing here. And here, I'll do it some more. I saw somebody just joined. This is how to do that first row after casting on. So you'll put your you'll put your right needle underneath your entire cast on, pull up a loop, put your yarn to the front, and do a purl. So once again, underneath everything, pull up a loop, put your yarn in front, and purl. So does that make sense? Is that good? Or do you want me to show it again? You want me to put the camera down a little bit and show it again? Just let me know. I'll do
I
it one
think
more time.
my yarn in my other hand, that's what's
Well,
throwing.
yeah, you're throwing. So you're going to do it. Let's see if I can throw.
I think I'm gonna find out now.
Here, you're okay. So you're like this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's harder if you're throwing. Yeah, I totally see that. Ellie was also doing continental. So yeah, you may need to oh, I'm getting it now. If you're throwing and your yarn is over here, then I think you do just go like that, just do a scoop. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay. If you'll follow through to the other part though. So
Okay, I will.
and
So
then
if you're throwing, then you're going to need to go from, let's see, you're going to have to scoop it from the back to the front like the pattern says. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like that this yarn is so dark. So then, okay, so then once you've scooped it, then you need to, sorry, I'm really awkward throwing. Then you need to take your yarn and go from front to back. So here's your yarn, it's in the back and you've got this loop. Take your yarn and go from back to front and then do a purl. I can't throw. There you go. Do a purl stitch like that. So here we are. Let's see, here we are. You did a purl stitch, then here we are. That's interesting. It ends up here. So, oh gosh. It'd be so much easier to do it the way to hold it like that. That's interesting. So go from back, grab the yarn to front, put the yarn in front, and purl a stitch. If anybody's wondering, I am a lifelong left-handed thrower knitter. So I taught myself in the last year to knit right-handed continental. So throwing right-handed is really doing a number on my head. So get yourself a loop, Christy. You got that? Get yourself a loop, bring the yarn to the front however you can bring it. And right in between the two needles, and then do
A purl.
yeah, I'll do a purl. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the best way for you to do a loop as a thrower. Susan, are you a thrower?
Figured it out.
You're continental as well?
I'm continental, and I used to knit right-handed, and I forced myself to learn because right-handed knitting was too hard on my hands. When I do continental, I'm barely moving my fingers.
Yeah,
and I can go from knit to purl very quickly, but
yeah,
doing this was too much for me. So I'm so sorry. I'm no help at all.
yeah, yeah. So it says purl one, insert needle from back to front under next strand. Insert right needle from back to front under next strand. Well, I guess that got a, okay, so if your yarn is here and you go back to front, yeah, I'm not sure how that direction goes, how those directions go.
I think you have to put your yarn between your thing, like you're throwing it back to a knit, pull it around that direction.
That makes more sense, yeah.
And then go purl the next one.
Yeah, that would totally work, yeah. I was trying to figure out how to do it from the purl.
Well,
yeah,
purl, you're going to put it in the back like you're about to knit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to pull it around. Yes. And now purl.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and that's easy to do if you are knitting continental and your yarn is in the left hand. It's harder to do, I think, when you are throwing. Does anybody else want to chime in here? Are you throwers? Pardon?
I think you're doing great.
My camera, okay. Yeah, I'm really not happy with, I keep looking and not happy with this. Okay, so I'll show one more time. Dive in, grab yourself a loop, put your yarn from the back to the front, and purl. How's everybody else doing? Adine, Connie, Cheryl, Jean, Nancy. I'd love for somebody else to hop in and say how's, how they're understanding it and if it's working for them.
It seems to be working for me, but I'm also a continental knitter, so.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, good. All right. Well, that's, if anybody's watching this who is a thrower, you've just got to get a loop and then grab a loop, and no matter how you grab it, and I think Christy's right, if you're a thrower, you can't end up with your yarn in the front and grab that loop.
Okay, here's a question I have. It says purl one, the very first thing. That's a singular. How are we going to get to out of the set? I have 76 stitches because I'm doing X large. And it says we're going to end at 152. Wouldn't that be an odd number though, since the very first one is singular?
Because you do a purl, and then you immediately do one of those loops. And,
okay.
and that's your first pair.
Okay.
Yeah, the numbers came out perfect for me when I did my sweater, when I did this. The numbers came out perfectly. doubling it. Yes, yes, here at this end.
Okay, so if we finish that second row, I've got to go cast on because I messed up the beginning. So we got to go back in, and when we finish that second row or the first, what I call complete row, then what do we do next? And knit,
And then
purl,
where,
knit.
you mean under where it says sizes
Yeah.
SML, XL, next round?
Is
Yeah,
that
you will.
that
Mhm.
second row, right?
Yeah, it's the second row,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
They're not defining it. They just keep saying second round or next round. So there's an asterisk. So you'll purl one, knit one, and you'll do that purl one, knit one, however many times as it says for your size. So what was your size again, Christy?
I'm gonna do the X large.
So the XL is the second, no, the XL is the fourth one. So it would be 4 times. Okay. So you purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one. You have 4. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then you place a marker. And then you purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one 30 times. So it's not 30 stitches, it's 60 stitches because you do the purl one, knit one 30 times. You place another marker, and then you do the purl one, knit one again 4 times and place a marker. And then you repeat that one more time. You repeat that same thing that you did one more time. That's getting you across the back and a sleeve, I think, and then it's going to get you over the front and another sleeve.
Okay, rookie mistake already. I just counted my stitches, and so I'm like, how are these markers going to work out? That's weird. Thank you for answering that question right now.
Well, you know what I ended up having to do at the very, very, like, I don't know where it was, at what point I had to rip some out. I ended up using those little tiny light bulb
Yeah,
markers, these little tiny little guys.
I love
I
those.
ended up just to keep me on track. I put one of those every, was it 4 stitches or 8 stitches? Because there's 8 in each, 8 stitches make up each one of these, each pattern here. Let's see, from here to here, you got 8 stitches.
Yeah.
Like I say, I don't like that I got a dark one because it doesn't show up on camera. Anyway, that's 8 stitches, 4 stitches one way and 4 stitches another. And so I put a marker here and a marker here, and I just did that all the way around to keep me on track, because it's really easy to kind of get off, and then you end up at the end of the row and you're somewhere in the middle of a cable pattern. And you got to kind of get it started straight. And then once it's started, then you have something to, a reference point after that. So that was just, I mean, you may be more clever than I, but that's what I use or use, anything narrow. I love these. I have to do I love these so much that I put them in the shop, and it's these little flower markers.
Oh.
And they're so skinny, and they're metal, but they're covered, so they feel really soft and nice. And they're just so much fun. I mean, I'm all about making what I knit with, feel good, make me happy, not just get the job done, but to make me happy. And so these little guys make me really happy because they're really skinny. So you could use those too if you had enough. I just had a lot of the little cheap little bulb markers. So
yeah, those bulb pins are wonderful because you don't have to knit all the way around to get them. You could take them out and move them over. Like, I wish I only own 2 and I've already used them. So I have to knit around and move these when I get to them.
Remind me, I will take care of that, Susan. For everybody,
good.
Susan and I live in the
Yeah.
same town.
It's good to know. It's good to have friends.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What did you
Yeah.
call those little markers? Not
These
the
little
flower,
oh,
the
not
other,
the flowers. Oh, these bulb markers.
oh,
Where
markers.
were they?
Okay.
I
They're
think that's
actually
what they're
safety
called, isn't it?
pins. They're
Yeah, they're
called,
little safety pins.
yeah, they're bulb pins. So they're safety pins that are shaped like a pear for a light bulb.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I can
And you
bring it way
can
up.
get them. They come on all my clothes, you know, if I buy clothes, they're the kind that pin the things together, but you can also get them on Amazon. I mean, they're completely cheap. They're just,
Yep.
and they really get the job done. If you need, you know, if there's something that I need, you know, a ton of markers or something, which I did need for this. And then once I got on track and once my pattern was coming out correct, then I took them off and then
Yeah.
I, you know, can follow. I just love the way that this cable goes though, because you look at it one way and it's X's, you look at it another way and it's a honeycomb. Um, I just love that. And once it gets blocked and, you know, obviously I'm it's a little pushed together, but once it gets blocked, it's going to have such a beautiful pattern. And
That's a
you
great
know,
color on you.
yeah, I like the color for wearing. I just didn't like the color for trying to show you guys because it doesn't show up very well.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how's everybody else? Oh, 4 new messages. I'm not paying attention.
Oh, we did some talking while you weren't.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Someone was asking me why I was trying to use the magic loop. And that's
Yeah.
simply because I was too lazy to go find shorter needles.
Okay.
I had these handy, but as soon as I increased, it fit. So now I'm back to not having to fiddle with loops coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love magic loop though. You have to be careful to not let the loop stretch. I twist it so it crosses over and then it doesn't put
Oh, then it
stress
doesn't leave as much
edge.
space.
Yeah, it doesn't leave any
Oh.
space. I use them on my socks and everything. I just really appreciate it because then I don't have to have so many lengths. And sometimes I don't like losing where I am. With Magic Loop, I've got my 2 halfway points already marked because I've got the beginning and the halfway. But that was only helpful with socks. You know, on something like this, I highly recommend whatever markers you've got because I'm finding I'm using a paper clip, a real marker, and a safety pin and bolt pins. How's that?
There you go.
Sometimes I even take like contrast yarn and tie a little knot and make a little bow tie and just use that.
Yeah, I've done that when I was maybe away from my accessories and stuff and I was in a pinch. I also like 3.5-inch interchangeable sets because my cables are not in here right now, but
Yeah.
they come with 12-inch cables. So really, really short cables.
Wow.
Here I can pull. I think I can see. And I like using those for sometimes starting pieces. Where are they? I'm embarrassed to say that, oh yeah, here it is. A really, really short cable and then a really, really short needle like this. You know, the distance is not great and I can start really small things or even sometimes do cuffs or something like that a little easier depending on how long it is. Actually, that would be too big, but sometimes sleeves are that big, sometimes the body of the sleeve. Anyway, that's just another tip to have. If you get to the point to where you knit a lot and you need lots of different lots of different sizes and lengths and you never want to be caught without one, then try a 3x5-inch interchangeable set.
I just was shocked because my knit kit has a measuring tape and it's broken. I just went to go use it and it's gone. So that's sad. That's
Yeah.
oh well. Put that down
If
and
you're
get
like
back.
me, I put a measuring tape everywhere I am. I have I have one at my desk because I often knit when I'm in Zooms or watching videos or something. I have one beside the couch where I knit, and right before we joined, in fact, I'm looking down, my kitty likes to sit on my lap while I'm knitting, and so I was pulling cat hair off right before I just started this.
Natural fibers.
Lots of cat hair. I've heard of people actually um, spinning and knitting with their cat hair. Right, everybody's so quiet today. Usually we have chit chat. Is everybody just
30.
busy knitting along?
Yeah, I'm getting my markers placed where they really belong. There we go.
Good. Good for you.
And I'm recasting on because I messed up in the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah. To me, getting a project, no matter what project I'm starting, to me, just getting it all on the road and getting it all begun in the correct manner is kind of like half the battle. Sometimes there's a little bit of, like you were saying, Susan, kind of starting and then pulling back and checking it out and maybe getting some other yarn and trying a different technique and whatever.
Yeah.
Just getting the project going. And then once it's on the way, like mine is at this point, and I feel like I'm home free. I'm just going to do those 9 little short rows across the. I assume that you were saying, Jean, that you thought that the join was the back. I'm wondering if it's the front, because the short rows go across because this is my beginning of round marker, and the short rows go from this marker to this marker over here. Where is it? Anyway, they go from that one to the other. I'm wondering if they're doing some short rows for the bust, just to kind of make some shaping. So maybe the join is in the front.
Okay, the very first, I don't know, section. It says the BO beginning of round is the center back. That's
Oh,
right.
you
But I don't
actually read
know.
that.
But you're right. So
Okay,
is
so
it
I'm
really
wrong.
what you haven't done the short row yet? Because
Yeah.
I haven't done many of them, so I was looking online to see how to do it. And there was the wrap and turn method. But will this leave a
I
hole?
don't think she wants you to do that, because I'm just at the place to start it, and I've just done the first row. Have I done the first? Yeah, I'm just right at the end of the first row, and she says nothing about working a German short row. She says nothing about W&T, which would be wrap and turn. She says nothing about that. So I'm assuming she is doing that make one. You see where it says make one. I'm going to switch my
Right,
camera
right.
again. Where it says here, make one right, knit one, place marker 1, and turn. I'm assuming that she's using this make one as the filler stitch on the wrap and turn, or the short row, or whatever you want to say. I have questions about it, so that's why I was hoping that I was done with this section, or at least down a ways, so that I could speak to it a little bit more, and then I didn't get that done. But next time we'll certainly talk about that, unless everybody's past it, or if you want to yeah, and I'm trying to think, I guess maybe they're doing the short rows in the back to maybe make the back dip down slightly, maybe, so that there's a little bit of shaping in how the Sweater Falls. Anyway, I went through and I looked back on the pattern where it's talking about you know, the abbreviations and everything, and there's nothing about German short rows in there. There's nothing about wrap and turn. So I'm a little confused on that. So I tell you what, if I'm going to confirm this with the designer and get this sorted out for sure. Either confirm it with the designer or knit it myself and figure it out, that I know what she's doing there. And then I'm going to I'll send an email out to everybody who signed up to the knit along, so that everybody will know, so that you don't have to wait until the 2 weeks from now. You can keep knitting through.
Okay,
So that's
great.
what I'll do.
Great.
Yeah, I'll solve that. I was hoping I'd have it solved before today, but I didn't.
Okay, I'm struggling a little bit with my marker placement still. I thought I knew what I was doing. I knitted a whole round, took the markers out, repositioned them. So should I end up with, I'm doing size small, which is the second one in. So I knitted one and purled one. I have my beginning of round marked. I knitted one and purled one and put a marker. I did 30 purl one knits, so that's 60 stitches. Placed my marker. I did a purl one, knit one, placed a marker. And then when I got back around, I
You
have
need to do-
more.
You need to do
I
two
think I
purl one knit ones before you place your first marker. Are you doing the first size, or you're doing a small? I'm sorry, I was doing the medium. Mine's all marked on medium. You're right.
Okay,
Purl one
Is
knit.
that-
I'm sorry.
okay, I'm just a little confused because I have more than 30 now. 30 repeats, but I have more than 60 stitches there. So it should work out. It should work out because I should have 128 because I did 64 to start. It doubled to 128. And if you take 4 away, that's 124. Maybe I don't have enough between my markers. Should I have 4 stitches between my little markers or 2?
Are you putting the many markers in like I was talking? Or
No,
you're just
I'm
putting
just,
the main ones? Okay. So
yeah, I'm
purl
just
one,
doing
knit
this.
one time, place marker.
Okay,
Purl one, knit one time, and place a marker. So there should be just 2 stitches before your
Got it.
marker, right?
okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then purl one, knit one 30 times. So there should be 60 stitches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then purl one and place another marker. Obviously you did. And then purl one, knit one time
Mm-hmm.
and place another marker.
Yes.
Then
when-
you need to purl one, knit one time, place another marker.
Oh,
Yeah, I got caught up on that too.
thank you. I like knit-alongs.
I know, it's fun, isn't it?
So now I'm going to use my paper clip so I can get that in there and place the other marker. Okay. Phew.
Yeah,
You
there
just
you
saved
go.
me hours. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And now I understand that there's this kind of thing happening. You've got these
Yeah.
and these. Okay. Okay, I'm on it now. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Nancy, welcome. You just joined. Or Terry. Terry just joined. Where's Terry? Oh, there she is. Hi, Terry. I think I recognize you. Have you joined our knit-alongs before?
Hello. No, this is my first time.
Oh, is it?
But,
Okay.
I'm sorry I joined late. I had an appointment and got home as quick as I could.
I completely understand. You can watch the recording. I'll have that up on YouTube in the next day or two, and you
Okay.
can catch up with the first part because we did kind of cover a lot of nitty gritty
Yep.
stuff on how to get started. Are you started with the sweater?
No, I have not started it yet.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah.
there's a bit of trickiness with the first row, which is the first row right after you cast on. And if you look in the meeting chat and go back kind of almost at the beginning of the meeting chat, there is and let me put her name again. Let me put Ellie's Knitting Days on Instagram. Ellie's Knitting Days on Instagram. If you go to her on Instagram, you will see a video tutorial of how to do that first row. And that's the sticky little place.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'll look forward to the replay. And again, I'm sorry I joined late.
Oh, you don't have to apologize. I'm thinking maybe, like hundreds and hundreds of people signed up, but I'm thinking maybe Wednesdays aren't the best time for knit-alongs. I do some of them on Wednesday and some of them on Saturday, trying to get more in just because of my timing and my schedule. But the Wednesday ones just, I mean, out of hundreds of people, usually more show up, which is fine. I mean, I'm not unhappy that more aren't here, but I just, would like to give everybody a chance. And I think maybe Wednesdays are tougher. So maybe I'll go back to Saturdays only. We'll see.
Well,
but I hope you.
I'm thankful that you do the recording and then replay it on YouTube. So, I mean, it still gives me an opportunity, even though I was late, I can still catch it all. So thank you for yeah.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, I just love these things. It's so much fun to see everybody and talk to everybody.
Good.
From all over. Usually we have somebody from New York or a couple somebodies from Pennsylvania and back east, and then Florida, Texas, and today we had Tennessee. And so we have people from all over.
I'm from Alaska. So
and you're from Alaska. Oh my goodness.
So yes. And it's pouring down rain today.
Is it really?
Yes.
What's the temperature like? Is it nice weather?
57.
Oh.
And pouring rain. So
all
you people in the South that have 100-degree temperatures are probably saying, lucky her.
Yeah.
But this is what we've looked at most all summer, so not so good.
Is that unusual summers?
The last 2 years have been just unbelievably rainy, cold. Even if it isn't raining, it's cloudy. We've had, I think last year we ended up with like 12 days of sunshine.
Whoa.
We had 10 days in the whole entire year that we hit 70 degrees.
Wow. Where do you live in Alaska?
I'm in Eagle River, which is just a little outside of Anchorage.
So you're actually south a little bit.
Yeah. So
wow.
Just been a rough couple years. Extremely lots of snow as well in the winter.
I'll bet.
So well, it's okay. I get a lot of knitting and crocheting done, and
isn't that perfect?
They get homemade gifts.
That's right. It's perfect knitting and crocheting weather.
Exactly.
Like today was a little overcast. It's starting to burn off. I live near the ocean in Southern California, and so we get a fair amount of fog. And I just love it. I mean, I'm living where I should be living because I just love the fog.
Okay.
It was a little foggy this morning, and I was like, "Oh, this is be a nice knitting day."
Yeah, there you go. Yes, good day to do your crochet or your knit along. Yeah,
exactly. Did you crochet your little pineapple throw behind you? Is that a pineapple?
Yes.
It's beautiful. Oh, just beautiful.
you. Yeah, I do quite a bit of crocheting, home stuff. Right now I'm working on some artisan market baskets. And
Oh,
so, yeah, just
wonderful.
anything to keep me busy. I'm 73, retired. So got to find
It's
something to
perfect.
keep off the streets. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, when you do handicrafts like we do, and I realize knitting isn't a craft, but a lot of times knitters are also crafters.
Right.
But when we do these things, then we're never bored. I mean, there's
No,
just
there's always
I
a
will never be
project.
bored. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
if I tackled all my UFOs, I'd probably be busy till I died.
Right, right.
But
But
then you
why do
then you
that?
find that new pattern and you got to start on it.
Well, so I have a question. I have toyed with perhaps knitting these sleeves a little longer. I'm not to the point yet, but what do you think? Are you going to knit the sleeves a little longer?
Probably not.
Probably not. Mhm.
No, I usually do a lot of I get warm age wise. I just still get warm. And so pretty much everything I wear is like t-shirt, short sleeves. So I kind of like the sleeve length on the sweater.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. I was kind of thinking I might like it 3/4, but I don't know. We'll see what I feel like by the time I get
Yeah.
there.
Three-quarters is my least favorite length. I don't like catching it in my elbow when my arm bends
Mhm.
on any kind of shirt, top, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it
Yeah.
completely long sleeve or short sleeve.
Or short
Either,
sleeve. There you go.
yeah, either
And
or.
when we knit, we can do it exactly how we want.
Exactly. Just 10 more rows.
I'm
Absolutely.
thinking I might make mine a little shorter just to
Well,
make it
and
more
make it
like
more of a cap.
well, I thought I might see what it's like to stop after the design. And it might make it like a little puffy short sleeve there rather than going
Oh yeah.
longer. Because the way I'm wired heat wise, now that I'm through the mist, and I do still get some hot flashes, I like to be able to have something comforting, like this yarn would be very comforting. I tend to run cold, but when I get the warmth from inside, shall we say, I like to be able to throw my jean jacket off or my whatever I've got thrown on. So I like having like no sleeves or short sleeves, so I can get cool quick. I'm such a baby.
Well, you're not a baby, first of all, and second of all, where we live, Susan and I both live in Ventura, California, and where we live, layers are the name of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Just even if you're not having any kind of internal heat going on, yeah, layers are the best. So
I would just say
yeah.
my internal heat is just another complicating factor that changes how I choose what to make. I like to have layers, so I like to maybe wear like sew myself a knitted top, like a t-shirt or a sleeveless top, and then crochet or knit something to put over that, or knit myself a top or crochet myself a top and then wear a jacket with that. So got
Yep.
all the peel offables. I like shawls, hats, and
Yep.
scarves for the same reason. I could just put something on my shoulders, or I can tear it off at a moment's notice.
Yeah,
Gently.
I'm totally with you. Totally with
Yep.
you. Well, how's everybody doing? Any more questions before we? Oh,
I've got
excellent. Oh, let me
this
see
much.
that edge.
Okay,
Oh, here,
let me get my little marker
spotlight
over
you.
there. I like the way the top looks, that top edge. Okay, here is.
Oh, see, it makes such a nice little edge.
Stretchy.
See? It's
So it's
almost like a
almost-
faux Italian. You know what? It looks like an Italian cast on almost.
It's like a picot edge.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that. It's stretchy. It's stable, but it's still stretchy. Whoops, I went under. It's still
Yeah.
stretchy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And that's only
Love
3
it.
rows in. So
Yeah, I love
thanks to
that.
you all for helping me understand that I needed to do more markers. It works out perfectly now.
Good, good. Yeah. Yeah.
So I am doing nothing but repeating my knits and pearls. I could watch a movie right now and not worry about it. But the yoke shaping, is that difficult to get set up, Pamela? How was it? Is that when you
Um,
started marking every
yeah,
okay.
that's where I started putting those extra markers in just to keep me on the right track until I got the pattern established.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That's a
everybody's good with make one left and make one right.
um does it
Left
matter?
goes from front to back, right goes
Okay,
from back to front.
got it. I usually
So
have to look it up.
I totally understand. So let me see. I can show you just really fast. Probably don't need to show you, but as long as we're here,
Could you
find my
choose the method of left or right leaning,
uh
or is it a
y- y- y-
specific way she wants
no,
us to
it's just I
do
think
it?
you can choose. I think doesn't let me get my ends off. Now these ends are actually from my mother. When she passed away, I got a lot of her things, so those are antiques. So left is front to back in that bar and knit through the back of the loop, so it twists it.
Mm-hmm.
And right is front to back, or I mean, I just said the wrong thing. Back to front. Right is back to front, and then you kind of have to loosen this up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If I were knitting closer to me, it wouldn't be quite so hard to grab that front and twist the stitch again.
Okay.
And that's just the simple way of doing it. It doesn't look very good because I did them both in the same bar, but anyway, you got the right idea.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then yeah, you don't have to, but I did set up the patterns. I think I did it put a marker every 8 stitches so that the right cables and the left cables. One was in. And then the elongated stitch is easy to do. You just wrap it around twice, you act like you're just going to knit and then you just wrap it around your needle twice and pull it through. So you have two. Does anybody want me to show that, or is everybody's good with that, right? Okay. Yeah, I think everybody's okay with that. I mean, it's not a difficult sweater really once you kind of get past that first row. And it's a lot of counting and paying a lot of attention on the increase for a row or so, and then you kind of can knit for a while and do it just at your own pace, and then just from memory, and then you'll kind of have to pay attention a little bit every few rows. But and like I'm really looking forward to doing the short rows, finishing those, and then just I'm one of those that I enjoy knitting stockinette, so I'm going to knit stockinette, for those. I think it says 9 inches. I'll have to separate for the sleeves, and then I can knit for 9¼ inches stockinette, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. Turn something on television or something that I need to watch, and yeah, just do it. So if everybody is good with no more questions, I think we can pop off. What time is it? Is it almost? I mean, we can stay on for another 15 minutes. Cheryl, Jean, Wendy, Nancy.
I'm good. Yep, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna stop at the short rows until you confirm how to do those, because
Yeah,
I made a hole in one of my sweaters that I did the short rows on, so it wasn't
yeah,
very
yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, I was going to work it out, and then you know what? I think the quickest way is for me I'll contact the designer and I'll get an answer and
Okay.
I'll send
Perfect.
the email out. So give me a few days to get a hold of her, you know. Anyway. Okay, everybody, it's great seeing you. Look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. I'll send out, I should ask, the notices that I sent out, is that enough notices for you guys to know should I send out more or less? I mean, I don't want to just be bombarding you with emails. On the other hand, some people have said, oh, you need to remind us more. So I'm trying to find that little Goldilocks spot.
It was fine for me, what you did.
Okay, good. All right. All right,
Yeah.
great. Okay, everybody, have a fabulous rest of your week. So good to see you. Lovely part of my day, and just enjoy your sweaters. Join the Facebook group if you haven't already and post your progress. I love to see, love to see. Thank you, Wendy. Bye-bye. I love to see everybody's progress in between times. So, okay.
All
See
right,
you
thank
later.
you.
Bye-bye.